And now it's the moment you've all been waiting for, the heated debate for the 2024 presidential election between Democratic nominee A. Herrero and Republican nominee Donald Trump. Donald Trump, after losing in the 2020 election, vowed to come back and retake his place in 2024, and that's exactly what he plans to do here tonight, while A. Herrero is a shocking newcomer to the scene, but gained almost full support from the Democratic Party as soon as he entered, and easily garnered the nominee. And tonight, we'll see who will win this battle. So, the first poll closings of the night at 7 PM are shown on your screen now. We can now take a look and make some projections. Starting off the night with a shock, Indiana is too close to call. Now, this is normally a state that, while it was called for Obama in 2008, this is normally a state that since then has been heavily Republican, but to have this be too close to call and have competition here is quite a shock. 11 electoral votes up for play. Another surprise here, Kentucky is also too close to call. Another surprise here again, Kentucky is too close to call. This is usually one that, again, would be straight to the Republican column, but we'll have to see how this plays out through the night. We'll be giving you more updates on this as we go along. The first win of the night goes to the Democratic Party with A. Herrero, who's won Virginia and its 13 electoral votes. However, South Carolina is too close to call. Again, it's 9 electoral votes. Another Republican state that seems to be becoming a swing state almost, just like the other two we mentioned. This is quite a surprise to see this not be able to instantly go to the Republican column. We'll see how this plays out. Here we have another swift win for the Democratic Party. This one is quite shocking. Georgia and its 16 electoral votes. In 2020, Biden barely won this state for the first time since 1992. A. Herrero came in, he was campaigning really hard here and seems to have won it smoothly. This state may very well not be a swing state anymore, looking at the percentage ratios that A. Herrero has managed to pull off here. This is quite a shock. We are also ready to project the state of Vermont, goes to A. Herrero with 3 electoral votes. Next up is Florida and its 29 electoral votes. This has always been a very close state, always been a swing state, and today is no different. You can see the percentages here, slight lead for Trump, but not by much. We'll see if this changes and we'll give you an update later on in the night. So this is how our electoral map is looking so far. It's a 32-0 lead for A. Herrero so far, but that's likely to change. After all these states in yellow could very well go to Trump, instantly giving him the lead. It's simply that these are too close for us to make a projection on so far. 7:30 PM and we are ready to make the following predictions about these states. Ohio and its 18 electoral votes, another swing state here. A. Herrero is leading by a pretty significant margin, but that could all change. This is a state that was looking to be won by Biden in 2020, looking to be won by Hillary Clinton in 2016. Neither of them could get quite close to it, whereas Obama did win it. A. Herrero is looking to follow in Obama's footsteps and take this state for the Democratic column. Another absolute shocker here, the state of West Virginia is too close to call. Usually a Republican stronghold, giving an instant lead to the Republicans by a large margin, is too close to call, and it's 5 electoral votes. The lead is pretty significant for Trump, but based on the information we've seen so far, we simply cannot project this state just yet. Another victory of the night, North Carolina and its 15 electoral votes go to A. Herrero, another swing state from previous elections. Obama won it in 2008. People were thinking Biden might have won it in 2020, he didn't. Hillary was looking to win it maybe, she didn't. A. Herrero comes in and he is once again, for the Democratic Party, won North Carolina, the swing state. This isn't looking good for the Republicans, but there's still a chance that they can win back some of the other swing states, but they will have to win back most of them. And this is how our electoral map's looking so far. Now 47 points to A. Herrero with 0 points to Trump. Again, this could all change. All of the states you see in yellow could very well swing red and give Trump almost twice the lead that A. Herrero holds right now. All to play for. And now for the biggest poll closing of the night at 8 PM, all the states you see here, we are ready to make predictions on. The state of Illinois, we can project that it and its 20 electoral votes will go to the Democratic column and to A. Herrero. This isn't a surprise, Illinois is one of the most democratic states in the Union, so to see this go red would have been a heavy shocker tonight. North Dakota and its 3 electoral votes are too close to call. As you can see, the margins are very, very tight at the moment. Not much of the vote has been counted yet. This is again another state that's almost always a Republican stronghold, but A. Herrero is actually managing to compete in here, which is quite a shock for most people, I would imagine. And the same goes for South Dakota. The margins are very similar, very small and slim. It's also got 3 electoral votes, and we still are not ready to decide who we can project as the winner of this state. First victory for the Republican Party tonight. Donald Trump has won the state of Kansas, one of the most Republican states in the Union. 6 electoral votes. This win is later than most would have hoped for the first Republican win to be, but there's still time, although the time is running out for the Republican Party to win here. But this is a good omen for the rest of the night. Perhaps the Republican Party can win all these other states that they need to win, that their options are slimming. Oklahoma and its 7 electoral votes are too close to call. Almost 50% of the vote in, and it's too close to call. This state is again almost always a Republican stronghold, and yet a herrero is competing here. This is impressive. This is unprecedented even. We've not seen something like this in a while. The Republicans are quivering in their boots right now. They want to see something change here. Wow. We are ready to make one... am I reading this right? Okay. We are ready to make a major projection. For the first time since 1976 with Jimmy Carter, the state of Texas has gone to the Democratic Party and its 38 electoral votes. This is a state that in 2020 and the years prior we saw the state going bluer and bluer and bluer, but it always managed to stay in the Republican column by at least 6%. People are predicting that maybe by 2028 the state might go blue, but in 2024 for this state to go blue for a herrero is a shocker, and the Republican Party's hopes of winning this election has almost instantly vanished to dust with this projection here. It's not a good night for the Republicans. We'll see how it goes. The state of Michigan and its 16 electoral votes, a crucial swing state in 2016 and 2020, goes to the Democratic column. Pennsylvania, again a crucial swing state in 2016 and 2020, also goes to the Democratic column, and a herrero getting its 20 electoral votes. New Hampshire and its 4 electoral votes go to a herrero. Maine and its 4 electoral votes go to a herrero. The state of Rhode Island and its 4 electoral votes also go to a herrero. Connecticut and its 7 electoral votes go to a herrero. New Jersey and its 14 electoral votes will be going to a herrero. Delaware and its 3 electoral votes will go to a herrero. Maryland and its 10 electoral votes will go to a herrero as well. And the District of Columbia and its 3 electoral votes will go to a herrero. None of these are surprise. These are all states that have been historically Democrat for the past 20 or so years, even beyond. So this isn't too much of a shocker, but that state of Texas is really bringing fear to the Republican Party. Alabama, too close to call, and its 9 electoral votes. The state of Mississippi and its 9 electoral votes are also too close to call. The state of Tennessee, another state that we have not seen go blue since Bill Clinton's years, has gone to a herrero with its 11 electoral votes. And finally, Massachusetts and its 11 electoral votes will also be going to a herrero. Florida and its 29 electoral votes, we are now prepared to project this will also go to a herrero. This swing state has always been a significant decider in the election, and while in 2020 it didn't decide the election, it went to Trump, but the Democrats won. In this case, it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. It's going to be very difficult for the Republicans to pull back from the loss of this and Texas. We'll see how it goes. As it stands, the Democratic nominee stands at 241 electoral votes, with Trump standing at 79 electoral votes undecided so far. This is a scary map for the Republican Party. They have to win almost every single state left on this map, including states like New York and California. If California goes blue, which it's almost guaranteed to do, that's the election over. The chances of the Republican Party victory here has almost vanished to dust with that call of Texas and Florida. We're going to keep going, and we'll see you again at the next poll closing. It's now 8:30 PM, and we can now take a look at Arkansas. Arkansas and its 6 electoral votes, too close to call, about a difference of about 2 points here. Another state that's been Republican for quite a while. Bill Clinton took it when he ran for president. Not gone blue since. Let's see if the Democrats can take it back. Donald Trump is hoping to hold on to this state, because at this point all the Republicans can hope for is to avoid a landslide loss, as opposed to just a standard loss. Not much difference to our electoral map here, simply adding on another 6 to the undecided column. We are now prepared to project 3 states that were undecided earlier on in the night, that are now shown on your screen. The state of Oklahoma and its 7 electoral votes will go to a herrero. The same applies for the state of North Dakota and its 3 electoral votes, as well as the state of South Dakota and its 3 electoral votes. This is an unprecedented sweep for the Democratic Party, and this is shaping up to be one of the biggest landslide losses for the Republicans in a long time. Here's how the electoral map looks now, with Oklahoma, North Dakota and South Dakota decided. There are very few states now that the Republicans can afford to lose. All the Democrats need now is 16 points to win this election, and by what looks like it's going to be sweeping margins. And now we've got breaking news. Reports state that Trump has called a herrero to accuse him of voter fraud after these results have come in. And now it's 9 PM, we're prepared to discuss the following poll closings, as well as make one major projection about the whole election. A herrero will be the next president of the United States. This election has shown some incredibly shocking flips to the Democratic column that no one could have predicted, but a herrero will be the winner of this general election. We are prepared to make this projection based on the results from the following states. Arizona is projected to go to a herrero with its 11 electoral votes. The state of Colorado is projected to go to a herrero with its 9 electoral votes. New Mexico and its 5 electoral votes will be going to a herrero. Wyoming and its 3 electoral votes will be going to Donald Trump. This is another strong red state that hasn't gone blue since 1964 with Lyndon B. Johnson. All the Republicans can hope to do now is simply save face and cut their losses, which at this point there's no real telling how much they will be able to cut, because there's a lot of states left that are generally blue. We don't know how much that's going to add to the total. Too close to call in Nebraska and its 5 electoral votes, a difference of 0.5 points. A herrero leading. We'll see how this goes on as the night progresses. The state of Minnesota and its 10 electoral votes will go to a herrero. The state of Wisconsin and its 10 electoral votes will also go to a herrero. Wisconsin was another state that was incredibly important in the 2016, 2020 election and now the 2024 election. The state of Louisiana and its 8 electoral votes will be going to a herrero. This is a shocker here. A state that's been Republican for quite a while, there's not really even any competition here. This is quite a shocker, and its 8 electoral votes will be added to the Democratic column. New York and its 29 electoral votes will be going to a herrero. A generally blue state here, no surprise, but it did help pushing the Democrats over the line for this election. And here's how the map looks now. If you don't think this is shaping up to be a landslide, then I don't know what to tell you. This is a unprecedented map. There's a lot of blue here and a lot of states that are likely to continue to go blue. We'll see how this goes as the night progresses. 10 PM and we are prepared to make discussions and projections about the following states. The state of Nevada and its 6 electoral votes will be going to a herrero. This is a state that's been blue for quite a while and it stays blue in this election. The state of Utah, another state that's generally Republican without much competition, has gone to a herrero and its 6 electoral votes are added to the Democratic column. Idaho, another one of the more Republican states in the Union, and its 4 electoral votes are too close to call. Trump leading by almost 2 points, but there's still time to change. Iowa and its 6 electoral votes will go to a herrero. We have not seen something like this since Obama's run for presidency. Iowa goes back to the Democratic Party. Montana and its 3 electoral votes go to a herrero. This is something we haven't seen since even Bill Clinton's years. That was the last time the Democrats won Montana, and it wasn't expected they would win it again anytime soon. But a herrero continues to make groundbreaking flips for the Democratic Party and win its 3 electoral votes. The state of Missouri, a herrero leads by a tiny margin. Its 10 electoral votes are currently too close to call. And now, with the Democrats surpassing 350 electoral votes, this is now in the region of being declared officially a landslide victory for the Democrats, with likely more to come. It is now 11 PM and we can make the following projections about the following states. Washington and its 12 electoral votes will be going to a herrero, no surprise there. California and its 55 electoral votes, the biggest prize in the Union, will be going to a herrero. The state of Oregon and its 7 electoral votes will be going to a herrero, as well as Hawaii's 4 electoral votes. They will also be going to the Democrats. This is how the map looks now, surpassing the Democrats over the 400 electoral vote mark. We are now prepared to make projections about the following states which we could not project earlier on in the night. The state of Ohio and its 18 electoral votes will be going to a herrero. This hasn't happened since Obama's presidency, but a herrero is here and he's flipped the state. Indiana and its 11 electoral votes, another thing that we haven't seen since Obama. A. Herrero takes Indiana and flips it once again back into the Democratic column. South Carolina and its 9 electoral votes also go to A. Herrero and the Democrats. This is something that again is a shock, but at this point this is just a night full of shocks, so I don't know whether I can say I'm surprised. And finally, the state of Kentucky, something else that should be a surprise and yet isn't because of how this night has gone so far. 8 electoral votes go to A. Herrero. Here's how the map looks so far. Only a few states left to be decided, with Trump still remaining below the 10 electoral vote mark, but with the way things are going, he could still reach 50 plus electoral votes and save as much face as possible, which still isn't going to be much. It's now 1 AM and we can make the following projection. For the first time since 1964, the Democrats have won the state of Alaska and its 3 electoral votes. This is something that we haven't seen since Lyndon Johnson. It's a state that people again were saying, oh, it's going bluer, it's going bluer, but it wasn't expected until 2032, maybe 2036 or beyond, that this state would go blue. But here we are, it's 3 electoral votes, A. Herrero cutting time and getting this done in 2024, Alaska goes to the Democrats. Not much of a change to the electoral map there, after all, it's just 1 state, but now every state's polls have closed and it's simply a case of waiting until it's safe to make projections. We're now ready to make projections about these following states. The state of Idaho and its 4 electoral votes will be going to A. Herrero, as will the state of Nebraska and its 5 electoral votes. All the districts, all the state, all going to A. Herrero. This is something that, again, I would say I'm shocked, but this is an unprecedented year in American history. Alabama, again, 9 electoral votes. A shocking result, usually, but with the way the rest of this night has gone, this election is difficult to surprise me any further than it already has. The state of Mississippi and its 6 electoral votes will be going to A. Herrero. The state of Arkansas and its 6 electoral votes will be going to A. Herrero, last seen going blue in Bill Clinton's years. The state of Missouri and its 10 electoral votes will be going to A. Herrero. And the state of West Virginia's 5 electoral votes will be going to A. Herrero. This is a state considered to be a Republican stronghold, used to be considered a Democratic stronghold, but flipped, swapped places with Virginia and West Virginia effectively, but now West Virginia has gone back into the Democratic column. And with that, this is the final result for the 2024 presidential election. A. Herrero stands at 529 electoral votes, with Trump standing at 9 electoral votes. This was very close to being the biggest electoral landslide in history, being annulled by 1984's Ronald Reagan versus Walter Mondale's 1-state loss, and 1936 when Alf Landon won 8 electoral votes. Trump has luckily managed to surpass that, but barely. And here are the final results. One of the biggest popular vote margins in history right here. A lot of votes came in, and a lot of votes went to A. Herrero. And that is it for the 2024 presidential election.